All right. So for this skit, I'm the teacher and Sadie's the student.
Hi.
And we're going to be going over adding fractions with unlike denominators and fixing the numerator error in case study 2. Dr. Long is loud in there. Sorry, Dr. Long. And so first we're going to start off by reviewing the problems that we got wrong. So will you go ahead and write down problem A? So go ahead and write A. The first number that you looked at was 1/2, and you added 1/4 to it. And you wrote that 1/2 was equal to 1/4, and 1/4 is equal to 1/4. And when you added that, you got your answer as 2/4. So looking at that, can you tell me how 1/2 equals 1/4?
I think I was trying to get the common denominator and I got 4 for both.
All right, so remember, whenever we do anything to a denominator, we have to do the same thing to the numerator. So when you changed 1/2 to 1/4, you multiplied 2 by 2 to get 4. You doubled it. So you also have to double the top number.
Okay,
So
I have to multiply 1 by 2 and another 1 by 2?
Well, the bottom one is already 1/4, and you're keeping it at 1/4. So what we're going to do, since we're doing the denominator in this problem, go ahead and write a times 2 right here. Show your work. So since you did it to the bottom, you're going to have to do it to the top for this fraction right here, 1/2.
Okay.
But for 1/4,
Just
since you
times
kept
1.
it at 1/4, you can get rid of this times 2, because this one's just times 1, or you don't even have to write it because you're just keeping your answer over. So what is your new answer going to be for your top solution?
2 4.
So 2/4 and 1/4. So let's go ahead and take a look at our work here. So 2/4, and can we go ahead and move our 1/4 over just so they're in line? And write our addition sign right about here just so we know what we're doing. So 2/4 plus 1/4. Now let's see what our new answer is.
So our new answer would be 3/4.
3/4. So you agree that 2/4 is the same as 1/2?
Yes.
And 1/4 is the same as 1/4?
Yes.
And those fourths together equals 3/4.
Yep.
All right.
So everything you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and let you try the second problem again on your own. So let's go ahead and write the second problem down that we got wrong. That one's going to be 2/5. So 2 over 5, and then plus 1 over 2, 1/2. All right. And you can look on your work if you see. Good, you know you're going to be finding tenths. So remember, you multiply that bottom number by 5. Good job. Multiply the top number by 5. All right, multiplying by 2 for the 5s, the 5ths.
So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right.
So 9 tenths.
So looking at our work now, we have 2/5 plus 1/2, and we found common denominators. And what was our common denominator for this?
It was 10.
10. Okay, so we have 10 in both places. That's right. And since we multiplied the bottom, to get 10, we had to multiply this 5 by 2. So we also had to multiply the top by 2. And that top number, 2 times 2 is 4. You got that right. And then 2 times 5, because that's how we get 10 for this number. So we multiply our top number by 5 as well. We have to do the same to the top and the bottom. We got 5 tenths. 4 tenths plus 5 tenths equals 9 tenths. Awesome. All right. Good job. And then our last one, we're going to go over number C. So the C is 3/5 plus 1/3. All right, so Sadie's showing her work. Starting out with her denominator, she found a common denominator before anything else. A number that both 5 and 3 can go into. She quickly figured out that that was 15. And now she's writing out her work, multiplying her top and her bottom numbers. So for our first number, when we're converting 3/5 to 3/15, she converted that to 9/15. And our bottom number, 1/3, she converted that to 15, multiplying both the top and bottom by 5, got 5/15. So for both this one and the last one, we were really close to a whole number, but didn't quite get there. So we had 14/15 for this one and 9/10 for the other one. And now we have 2 extra problems at the bottom. We're talking about finding Robin's procedure. Check yourself by using your procedure to compute examples D and E. So let's go ahead and look at D2. We're going to move to the back so we have more room. So D is going to be 3/4 plus 1/2. All right, so what are we gonna change those to?
4 as the
All
common
right.
denominator. 3, 2. That's what I have.
All right, so Sadie left the fourths the same. 3/4 is still gonna be the same for this problem. But instead she multiplied the 1/2, both the numerator and the denominator, by 2. And she got 2/4 for that. So now she's adding 3/4 plus 2/4.
So it's a
5/4.
number.
So it is a mixed number. So she wrote it as 5/4, which we don't know the level of this case study. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over how to write a mixed number as well. So when you have 5/4, do you know how many fourths are enough to make one whole?
4,
So 4 over 4, and then how many more extra do you have?
1.
1. So 4 plus 1 equals 5, right? So that's how we have 5 over 4. So if we write that as a different number, how do you think we're gonna write it? If we have 1/4 left over after one whole number.
1 and 1/4.
1 and 1/4? Yeah, why don't you go ahead and write that down? Let's see what it looks like. 1 and 1/4. So as a mixed number, it kind of could be easier for us to tell. So say somebody asks how much pizza we have left over when we order 12 pizzas. In our head, it might be easier to say we have 3 pizzas and half of another one left over. So that's why it's important to use mixed numbers sometimes, because somebody's going to be a lot more confused if you tell them that you have 28/6 of a pizza rather than just telling them that you have 3.5 of a pizza.
Okay.
And so now we're going to go ahead over E, our last one, before we wrap it up. So this one might be a little bit more difficult. This one is 4/5 plus 1/4. All right, so what do you think we're going to find our denominator for this one?
I think it'd be 20.
20? Yeah, those are two big numbers that don't really fit well for a while. So let's go ahead and check 20. All right, so multiplying our numerators and denominators. She got the right multiplication so far.
So 21 over 20?
21 over 20. Now, how do you think you'd write that one as a mixed number? It's out of 20 this time. It's a little bit harder than out of 4.
Maybe 1 and 1/4?
1 and 1/20th. So it's going to
1/20th,
be
that's right, okay.
it's going to be 1 and 1/20th because we can't simplify 20 anymore since we only have 1 out of it. So our total is going to be 1 and 1/20th as a mixed number. All right, so in this case study, we went over how to simplify fractions when adding them together. We decided to represent the numerators and denominators, looking at the entire problem at one time so they could understand that whatever you do to the top in an individual number happens to the same thing at the other place. When you're adding together, you need to find the same denominator. You just need to make sure you're still doing that work to the numerators as well. Thank you, Dr. Long. Have a nice day.
Thank you.